Hello and welcome back. With Monolith almost through its first week, we've seen a shift in the way players understand the game. There's certainly a lot of brawls and fights happening still, but it seems like people are starting to find out more about where heroes are strong and where they're weak. To help out with your understanding of Paragon and Monolith, I've got a video today focused on a few tips you might not yet know that are very important to give you that edge in your own games. Let's see if I can't teach you something new with these tips. First up, Bump Juice. A fairly irrelevant card for most of its time on Legacy, it makes a grand entrance now, however, thanks to the changes to Health Bot and of course, health as a whole. Everyone has been running Health Bots forever, and many still are, but did you know about Bump Juice and the crazy value it has? Health Pot is still relevant despite its lower amount of healing on Monolith because all health balls were decreased as well. But did you know that during its 15-second healing, it will give you a total of 90 hit points? Meanwhile, Bump Juice gives you a total of 85 hit points. Instantly. Just like Health Pot, it has 2 charges and they refresh when you return to base. But here's the thing. You get that health instantly. The Health Pot will take 15 seconds to give you that 90 health, but for 5 less health, you can have the health instantly with Bump Juice. Use it at a key moment during a fight. That instant health can be the difference between you living or dying. And in the early game, 85 hit points to get instantly is massive, especially in the middle of a fight. I'm seeing tons of competitive players run this card now for obvious reasons, so go out there and give it a try. Meanwhile, I guess I'll just sit here and stare at it longingly and think about card crafting. Next, we have the new way jungle camps work. We all know that jungle camps stack up to 5 minions now, but did you notice these rings on the floor? The first filled ring will indicate the platform the minions are going to stand on, but this bigger unfilled ring around that indicates their leash range. If they step over this line, that's when they're going to decide to run back and regen their health. That's interesting, right? But here's the real tip. If you use that larger circle to your advantage, you can massively reduce the amount of damage you take when killing any jungle camp. Instead of standing there like a lemon and getting hit, try kiting the minions around in the circle. You're not going to lose any damage that you put out because you're still hitting every swing, right? However, you're going to keep cancelling the animations of the minions who are trying to hit you. They're going to run to you, then you'll have moved, and then they'll have to rerun back to you. It's this weird thing where their animation's basically cancelling because you're no longer in range and they didn't get to hit you in time. Do note, you're still going to take damage while you do this, but it's going to be a lot less than if you were just standing there. This comes in handy in the early game for the jungler because the damage you take from the jungle is pretty scary before you're like level 4. But this works on everyone, so give it a try. Okay, this one is one you've got to know. The new ward spots. There's tons of places that work as warding places and warding spots, but with the new way wards function, however, you've got to know where the bad places to ward are. For example, right up against a fog wall. That's terrible. You'll have cut the range of the ward in like half when placing a ward against a wall, and a fog wall works no differently. So take that extra second and place it a little bit further from the wall. That way, you'll have that extra second to react if someone comes for you. But more importantly, there's 2 wards that are becoming more common on Monolith. First, we have the crack in the wall at Raptors, which is sweet. You just pop the ward right in between that broken section, and the ward will be able to see River Buff, the area in front of the fog wall at mid, and it'll see the Raptor camp too. It's basically like 3 birds and 1 stone, saving you from placing free wards for the cheap price of just 1. Use that ward spot, honestly. The other is the wall at Prime. It's straightforward. You just place it here and you can see everyone who enters the Prime pit from all 3 entrances. And Melee can't kill it without running all the way around to get to it, slowing them down, which will give you slightly more time to get over there to stop them from killing Prime. Finally, there's one spot I like in the jungle. It's just on top of this wall here. It'll give you vision over a white camp, the Amber Link, and also green buff. This works wonders if you've got an invading Kalari or stealth buffed enemy coming into your own jungle. It's a great defensive ward. But you can also place it on the other side of the map too, in the enemy jungle, which will give you that little edge over the enemy since you'll know where their jungler is and maybe when he's going for green or rotating. Okay, this one, even at diamond level, I don't think people are following this one enough. It's the Raptor camp. I've talked about it before. They're deadly, tanky, but so valuable, so start killing them for God's sake. The Raptors reward 1000 CP exactly, which is 1 card point total to the person who lands the last hit. To give you a comparison, killing one raptor is the same as getting 10 last hits in lane. That's great on everyone, but if you give that to your carry, and maybe in some cases your jungler, it can be ideal. Imagine if you could get every raptor that spawned in the game. Think of the CP advantage you'd get over the enemy team. Well, here's the thing. You can and you should be. If you can take the first raptor that spawned, before it gets a companion, a second raptor to back it up, it's not actually that scary. Characters like Chimera or Rampage excel at this, killing the raptors, thanks to their regen that they both have. But not every jungler has that, and sometimes you're gonna need to call for help to do this. Getting you carry and support to help the jungler kill the first two raptors sets up the game for success, because from there, you can keep going back to the raptor when it spawns every time, preventing it from getting any companions at any point, and if you do this, the CP value is insane, right? But at the same time, you're making it way easier for yourself too, because you'll be killing one raptor at a time instead of 2 or 3, which is way easier, way safer, and a great source of consistent CP throughout the game. It's a good idea to keep vision on the raptors through the game, and try to do it when the mid laner can't stop you or isn't really going to notice you doing it. A bit of teamwork can go a long way if you can get it. Oh, this change, this is fantastic. It's to do with Sevarog. Okay, we all know this spoopy ghost is super scary on Monolith. He is strong, and that's because he has a much easier time gaining stacks these days. With the massive minion waves and the way more jungle minions to kill, there's just more souls to steal now. To fight that, they slightly changed the way his stacks work. His armor and power bonuses no longer increase every 20 stacks. Now they increase from 20, then 50, then 90, then 140. 140 compared to 80 is almost twice as much as it used to be to get to his max armor level. But it's still not that big of a deal, because did you know Sevarog can gain stacks from all of his abilities now? You don't have to rely on your Siphon to get stacks. Both Subjugate, which is the root, and his ultimate, Colossal Blow, can generate stacks when they kill something with it. That makes farming those stacks way easier. So start using it to your advantage, Sevarog players. He is insane when he's buffed up from stacks. So take every advantage you can and start throwing out those abilities. Next, we have one that is nuts and probably shouldn't be in the game. I'm actually scared to share it. Carries can solo Prime. Yep, you heard me right. It's very silly. I can't imagine this will stay for long, so maybe you should use it while you can. A carry with enough damage and lifesteal can take on the Prime Guardian while completely alone. Watch as Undead Pilot takes on Prime with just one brand of the Iron Eater with 15 points of lifesteal total. Just 15. That is hardly any. He even started killing Prime when he was hurt, when he was on half health, and he was completely fine. Yes, Prime was hurt too when he began, right? But you could clearly see in this specific example, he could have killed it from full health. He was actually healing more than the damage he was taking, and by far too. This happened just after a team fight that could have gone either way. So if you find yourself in the late game, make sure to make some space for your carry and let him go kill Prime. Again, I have to imagine this is going to be changed. Perhaps they'll nerf the amount of lifesteal you can get while attacking Prime specifically, but until they've fixed it, it's a pretty useful buff as Prime, I'm pretty sure, guys. And one final tip that I want to give you is on the river buffs. Now, I did just make a whole video dedicated to which is the best buff and how to best use them, so you've got to check that out if you want to get every advantage you can on Monolith in your games. But for the sake of this video, all river buffs reward mana upon killing them, and that's something critical to a jungler so they don't have to return to the base as often, but can also be extremely useful on every character, right? But specifically for the mid laner who might be using tons of mana on his abilities. So make use of these buffs, get the mana. Phew, there you have it. Some of the best tips that I can give you after the first few days of Monolith. Get cracking, but before you do, have you guys seen this? Paragon released these images with that 2006 versus 2016 thing that the internet is doing right now. Basically, you look at yourself 10 years ago and compare it to now. And with that, they released this image of Twin Blast on the left, but who's this monster on the right? Is that the Arkham Knight? Nah, mate. I think that's a new skin coming for Twin Blast. Dude looks like the Terminator. Based on the skin, it could be a tier 2, but who knows? They might have added animations to it to make it a tier 3. I'm not sure yet. But my money is on that that's a tier 2 Twin Blast skin coming to the game soon, and I can't wait to see it either way. Thanks again for watching. I hope you learned something useful today. If there's any tip that you feel like sharing that might not have been in this video that you think might help other players, feel free to leave it in the comments. You might even help me make a new video. And I do hope you found the Winterfest code in the video. This is actually the last video I'll be releasing with a Winterfest code in it, so a huge thank thank you to Epic for the opportunity for me to give you guys free stuff. I feel very lucky to be included. And while you're at it, make sure you check out Shurpa, who is linked in the description, to find your next Winterfest code. The very last one. Shurpa's linked in the description. Good luck, guys.
To the CXP.
What in the fuck, chap?
What is he doing? What's he doing?
He's standing in the team.
Log in through.